It's kind of an emotional day for me. It's the last day that I'm going to be using some of these large woodworking tools that I've had for many years and that have been part of my identity for all that time. The shop is kind of a mess right now. I've been pulling all my extra tools out of drawers, getting things sorted and organized, and I'm trying to get things ready to let go of, to sell, to give away, to throw away, whatever it takes to be done at this part of our lives. But it's really hitting me today, and it's kind of an emotional day because I'm letting go of some of the big tools, and the big tools are well, they're the foundation to a lot of the things that I do here in this shop. This is no longer who I am, and I don't exactly know how to process this yet, but it needs to happen, and I'm not exactly sure. There's turkey in the yard. Hold that thought. Oh, there's a whole bunch way over there too. Let's see if I can catch them. See them? Wow, I'm gonna get that turkey. Woo! No, I got it. That was fun. So as I was saying, woodworking has just really been my life's identity for pretty much all my adult years. Our new nomadic lifestyle just affords no room for tools like this. I'll certainly carry a handful of tools that I'll be able to take with me, but nothing like what I have here, nothing like what I've worked for all my life. And this has been the medium for me to feed my family, to have a passion, have something to live for. And by all accounts, I made it. I have a shop full of wonderful resources here, but as of today, it's my last day. It all goes away after this, and I'm processing that, and it's not easy. I've had a lot of people ask me over the last few months, are you going to regret getting rid of all these tools? Are you going to regret this decision you're making?
Are you going to have any regrets?
This is like the American dream. Have a big property in Montana, have this dedicated shop with all these tools. Who wouldn't want this? Are you going to regret getting rid of all this? I've had to do a lot of soul searching and thinking. Am I going to regret this? So even though I've got a lot of work to do before we can actually use our new So we have a lot of work left to do, as you can see on this list, plus plenty other things. But the final task for my big woodworking equipment is today. It's a little bit of ironic or poetic balance in my life to find out my last major woodworking task will be to mill some hardwood through a joiner and planer. Back in 1992, after we had just gotten married, one of my first major jobs was with a company down in Southern California. And they had the contract, believe it or not, to build all of the woodworking for Disneyland's Toontown. And I got the privilege of being the young shop help who learned so much. And one of my first major jobs was running some material through a planer. It was a shop planer very similar to this one, a little bigger. But I remember when I first got a chance to use a tool like this, just how impacted I was by the transformational nature of this tool. The planer could take a board like this, twisted and rough and splintery and hardly usable, and transform it into a beautiful, beautiful board like this, where it was smooth, straight, consistent in thickness. And that process I was in control of, and that had a profound impact on my life. Just like that board going through a planer, in life, change is inevitable. The question, though, is when change happens to us, how are we going to handle it? I've seen plenty of examples of people who have handled change really well. I've seen many more examples of people who don't handle change well at all. And I want to show you one right now. There are those turkeys again. I wish I could catch one. When we first moved out here to Montana, we met our neighbors, but didn't have a whole lot of interaction with them. Most people kept to themselves around here. And one of our neighbors, 2 doors down, let's just say they have 10 acres of stuff. And all this stuff, as far as the eye can see, has been sitting in this yard ever since we've been here. I'm taking a big risk doing this, but I'm actually going to go just a little bit into his yard here and kind of want to get a better perspective on things. I got to cross a little stream to get in here, though. Yeah, that was not as solid as I thought. Whoa! Now, I want to be clear. I'm not showing you this to make fun of my neighbor. For me, there's a lesson to be seen here. A lot of the things that I have held on to, I've held on to for a variety of reasons. For some, I think there's some value in it, and I might be able to make a few bucks on it later on, even if I don't need to use it. Maybe I hold on to something because I still need to use it sometime in the future. Or there's sentimental value, or whatever. But somehow I've collected things. I'm certainly not as bad as what's going on behind me from my neighbor. But I'm sure he didn't plan on his yard being an absolute yard sale, but it happened. And then things change. And now the weight of all these things rotting in his yard, in his house, in his shop, are stealing joy from his life. I'm not here to judge. I'm just learning my own lesson from this. And I learned it from my own dad, too. After my mom passed away, my dad just didn't really have much motivation in life. All the things that was from his former life were stored in boxes and bins and crates in our garage. And we couldn't touch them. We couldn't get rid of them until he was gone. And yet, none of them brought extra joy to his life or any functionality. He hardly even remembered what he had. So for me, I don't want my things to possess me.
The more stuff you own, the more it owns you.
That's what I've been saying. This man is genius. I want to be able to enter my midlife years with a new lease on life, to be free of the burden of all the stuff. Even though my identity has been built up in it, I think it's a healthy thing to let go and to start new and fresh and invest in the things that are important to me now. Well, he didn't see me, so all's well. I haven't seen him in a couple years, actually. I wish him well. I really do. And I'm extra grateful for the lesson that has been taught me all these years. Our possessions have the capacity to possess us if we're not willing to accept change. So, back to the question. Am I going to regret this? I'm going to miss it. But I think at the core of it, the truth is, I have something greater. I'm ready to enter it. I don't know exactly what that looks like yet. We're on that threshold of change. And how am I going to handle this change is the bigger question. Do I regret it? I'll miss it. But I'm not going to regret it. And the reason why I can confidently say that is because these tools are just things. Now, over the years, these things have given me opportunity. They have allowed me to feed my family, to grow in my skill sets. But my skill sets haven't gone. In fact, through this process of using these tools and this equipment, and then becoming a teacher and teaching these things, has advanced my creativity in ways that I can't even measure. So the way I see it is this is an opportunity to celebrate what has been accomplished. Building my house and this shop, traveling all over the United States as an educator, spending 8 years of my life at a public high school teaching the next generation. I don't need these tools to be the endorsement of my creativity. So what's in the future? I really don't know. I know I'll find ways to use my creativity, be it a new form of art or creative storytelling through videos, whatever it may be. I think sometimes it's important to act intentionally in life, to give up good things so we can actually achieve even greater things. Like this board going through the planer, we're going through a transformative process, and I don't exactly know what's going to come out on the other side, but I can trust that it's going to be something beautiful. So as I run this final batch of wood through this planer today, before the guys come and take the tools away tomorrow, this will be both saying goodbye and a celebration of an identity I've had for most of my adult life. And just like this board going through the planer, things will change. Trust that on the other side, beauty will come from this process. As we enter into the next stage of our life, we are letting go of our things. Less stuff makes room for more stories. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes out on the other side.